I watched it. Oh, I guess for Valentine's, I watched the shitty remake of My Bloody Valentine.
Okay.
I think we call it My B Valentine.
My BV.
BV.
My BV.
DVDs.
Is it good?
My busted ventricle.
Ooh,
Oh,
God. That is the start of a show. Welcome, everybody, to the Busted Ventricles.
Welcome, friends, to the Comics Place Presents the Perfect. Welcome, friends, to the Comics Place Presents a Perfectly Acceptable Podcast, the only place where you can watch three boys confidently start talking, abandon their sentence, and start it back over as if nothing happened. It's that type of confidence and camaraderie one comes to the Comics Place Presents a Perfectly Acceptable Podcast for. This is, you guessed it, a comic book podcast by three gentlemen who run a comic book shop in the Pacific Northwest, just off the coast of the cradle of civilization, just on the inland territories of the cradle. We love comics. We talk about them all the time, and we do that on a weekly podcasts. Listeners, you know, I'll wait.
Go.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddies. I'm Jeff.
I'm Django.
I'm Roman.
I'm never quite sure if he's going to say it.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It's always like on the bubble for a second there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the mystery of Roman that even at this point, like 10 years into this podcast, I don't know if he's messing with us or if he's just bad at it.
He's messing with us.
Yeah, he's definitely messing with us.
He's bad at
it. I said my name.
What?
I said it.
Sorry, I was saying a sentence and just emphasizing the beginning of the word differently. What an interesting week we've just had, and it's kind of exciting for a comic shop in the Pacific Northwest, just off the cradle, the inland coast of the cradle. A week like this, because Django and I are about to fly off to the annual Comics Pro meeting, a thing that he and I have been doing every year now for 7 years.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years. It's got to be more than 7.
It's an annual meeting for, it's open to all comic retailers. We are part of an organization called Comics Pro, but we went just to flirt with it once or twice before, paying to join it and everything. Travels around the country. It's been in Glendale, California, or Burbank, or Los Angeles, if you want to get into, like different levels of familiarity with where we're going to be. It was there last year. That's where it's about to be this year. So there's like a bunch of Hollywood people. We got to go to the DC Hollywood, offices last year. That was really neat.
Yep.
I'm pretty excited to be going to Comics Pro here with you, Django.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to seeing all of our friends and high-fiving and being inside that hotel that was just a little colder than you wanted it to be all the time, which is where I like to live.
Yeah, it's really interesting going to one of these Comics Pro events because you get a bunch of comic retailers and like as a group, kind of a shy, awkward group, right?
Sure.
And like They keep shoving us all into these rooms and giving us free alcohol. So
Speak to each other.
This progressively kind of weirder situation. And it's an absolute travesty Roman hasn't been.
Yeah. Roman, would you come with us?
Sure. I
6:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh God. The only Comics Pro I've done is the one that was that in 2020? The one that was all over Zoom?
Yeah, 2021.
2021?
Yeah, we went to Comics Pro right before lockdown.
Yep. We did. People were worried about COVID at the time, but we're not here to reminisce about COVID. We're excited to move forward for Comics Pro. And you guys, guess what? Roman, I'm not sure if you heard this, but Jonathan Hickman is going to be there.
Oh, you gotta suck his toes.
Oh,
well, I am a big toe sucker.
Yeah.
I wonder how he feels about mats of dry, congealed ice cream on chests of hair. But yeah, there's not many people. There's probably 5 comic professionals that could be there where I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna feel compelled to talk to them. I'm gonna look and sound dumb. So I don't
Scared?
know what's
Scared?
gonna happen, but he is one of those 5 people, and we're gonna be around each other the whole time. So gosh.
Let's see, him and Grant Morrison. Who else would be on that list?
Frank Whiteley, Grant Morrison, Jonathan Hickman. You know, I'll think about it throughout the rest of this episode, unless
All
it's
right, yeah.
Will Elmer's question for the episode, which we're about to get to.
Okay.
But definitely those 3. You know, maybe Jason Aaron is coming to mind, but
Yeah, I could see that.
hey, just a second, you guys. In a moment here, you're gonna have an opportunity to send and contribute to this video podcast that you're listening to and watching. Now, are they listeners or are they viewers? We're not going to discuss that right now. We'll table it. We'll come back to it later. But if you are a viewer, excellent job stopping by and being one of the people live on Facebook viewing this. You can also watch this on our YouTube Comics Plays feed after it comes out, after it's streamed here. You can also find it still on the Facebook. And then you can do the dang audio thing, where I know a lot of people like to engage in their comic book podcast while they're at the gym running. There's a huge overlap between comic book readers and treadmill people.
I actually watch it and listen to it and perform it. Like I do it all.
Hey, Django.
What?
Watch it.
Hello and happy episode number 419, my friends.
Wow.
Oh, 1 episode away.
Ooh.
Hey. So I am finally starting to catch up on my comics. And you know what? That pro tip that I think Django threw out a couple of weeks ago when, Jeff was said, just stop reading comics. And Django was like, wait, our entire business model depends on Will spending money on comics on a weekly basis, and suggested that I read some of those issues back to back. Ooh, it worked.
Oh, Django, way to go.
Became slightly less daunting once I got into a flow of pick up 3 issues of what's this one? The Bat Fight one, and a couple of others. And highly recommend it. Maybe I should just be reading some of these traded in a paperback or collected edition. But either way, it worked. So it left me wondering. You guys are going to Comics Pro this week. You got any other hot tips for your comic book reading experience? What else do you guys do that helps them all just go down easier? Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
I got one major tip.
What's your tip, dude?
We love you, Will.
Yeah, dude. And turnips are amazing.
Good light.
Good light.
I enjoy my comics so much more if I have good lighting on them. Like I'll sometimes read in a restaurant or a bar or something, and I'll miss a third of the story because I just can't see the story as well.
Yeah. I like you bringing up like a bar or something, because I would recommend, and I'm going to put it a different way. And maybe you already do this, but I think creating a sort of routine or ritual around reading them is very nice. Like, do you like to have a cup of tea? Make sure you just always make yourself a cup of tea and have it while you're reading your comics. Or are you doing it in bed? Get your particular pillows flopped up and your slippers on and you're hanging out and you're doing that. Or maybe you like kind of getting out there and being a part of the world while engaging in comics. So there was definitely a period of my life where I would go to a couple different bars to read comics.
Yeah.
But creating some additional things around it to elevate the comic book experience weekly is a thing that I really like, but I'm also just an absolute creature of routine.
Yeah. What about you, Roman?
Boy, I agree. Good light. I like the routine. I like to do a thing that, I read the books. I usually read the books I'm less excited about first. So that way, when I get to the books I'm really going to love, it's like a reward.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why I do this. Because it doesn't affect anything. I like to read kind of like comics, like Justice League and Batman and Robin, or licensed properties like Star Trek, Star Wars. I like to read them back to back.
Conan the Barbarian and Barbarian Behind Bars.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then
Hellblazer.
I would say, kind of like routine stuff, but what Roman was also just saying is experiment with the order with which you attack your stack. Experiment with it. Do you have a general way that you do it? approach it differently. Just see how that changes your reading experience, right? Like try reading all your Marvels together, or try intentionally, going Marvel DC. But yeah, or try with music. Ooh,
I would say start, like, it's important to make it so the first book that you read is Terminator if it came out that week.
Always. That's a given. And that's a new rule in the last year or so, but it's one that we adhere to strictly here on Papcast HQ. Hey, Django, our friend Nate McGarry Myers dropped into the chat here. And it just reminds me, I wanted to mention, hey, Nate, I believe it was last week you inquired about those large size artist edition single issues. And you came to my mind today looking at next week's DC Comics because it might be the first issue of Metal or maybe it's like Absolute Batman, but there's a work in progress, like a black and white pencil oversized issue of a DC book this week that we got a couple copies of. But it is looking like those WIP books are continuing to be produced, which is awesome. So following up on that.
Nate's asking, he says, I had a great question on the original art. How cool was it that Eric Larson was part of the post? When Jeff and I were going through our basement inventory, trying to find cool things to bring to Comics Pro and put in the Bink auction, and we found a piece of original art that we thought was pretty cool, but couldn't figure out exactly what comic it was from. So we posted it on Facebook and discovered that it was from Warp number 14. And it's drawn by Bill Willingham, but there was a lot of conversation that went on about it. A few people like asked AI, and AI was like insanely wrong about it. Like it said it was Al Williamson, and it looks nothing like Al Williamson. And it was insistent on it too. Like somebody found that, and then somebody else ran it through and was like, "Are you sure about this?" And it was adamant. It even like made excuses for why it was wrong. It was pretty cool to see like. Comic nerds just know instinctively that is not Al Williamson.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eric Larson was part of that, and that he's a big fan of art, man.
Eric Larson,
he knows some stuff.
And he loves comic art. Hey, Will, thank you so much for sending your question in. And it's a great question to be thinking about. Mine came down to routine, but I love just mixing up and trying to experiment with new ways of engaging with comics, especially when you've all been doing it as long as we have. And, we're in that privileged spot to know that there's a big stack of comics waiting for us every week. It's fun to like see how you can add flavors to that experience. So, Will, what are some tips that you've got? Django, I do think reading them in sets of 2 is awesome. Like truly, when you do have a lot and you are adamant about wanting to read it all, like getting to read things. When I went to Japan and the trip before that, like having a big stack of comics and just waiting for the second issue of each of them to come out and reading 2 of them was easily the most gratifying way to do it.
And it takes 1.5 times as long as reading one of them. Because like you don't have that weird ease in like orientation thing that's you get.
That's how physics work. That's how physics works. Django, Will, thank you for sending that in. Everybody else can contribute to this podcast and plumb the depths of our weird brains by asking questions. You can record in an audio format like that on your phone and attach it to an email and send it to jeff@thecomicsplace.com, which is our new podcast email address. You can also just write a written email address and email it to jeff@thecomicsplace.com. Tell us to do something. This next week, the next several days, Jamie and I are going to be around some big wigs. Some I'm talking turn of the century judge wigs. And so I want you guys to tell me, like, it would be great to have an excuse to talk to Jonathan Hickman. So if I could be like, my friend Craig Mueller, who helped move our store, really asked me to mouth vomit all over you. That'd be cool. And hopefully I'm not cleaning up someone's vomit like I did at Comics Pro last year.
The only other option is for me to go up and be a little bit insulting and let Jeff see me get in trouble with Jonathan Hickman and have to swoop in to rescue me out of the goodness of his heart. And I don't know that that's the best way to go. It's probably consistent with our brand, but
I appreciate that we are always working to play the game for the best results of our team, which is you and I. But it's time to start talking comics this week, and we have a pretty interesting. It was actually a quite interesting week of comics. We have a very cool new #1 that came out this week that is highly worth talking about because in the last year, Jeff's been very loud about having fallen in love with Dennis Camp, and very interestingly, like 2 years ago, DC announced that they were bringing back Vertigo. And then a year ago this weekend, we went to Comics Pro and they brought us back to their offices and they were like, so what do y'all want Vertigo to be? Like and I don't know, my theory was kind of maybe that they had some plans invested in like Sandman or Neil Gaiman or something, and they had just scrapped that entirely and do something else with this Vertigo relaunch. But very interestingly, the very first new series to come out from Vertigo came out this week, and it is written by Deniz Camp. And I only just kind of realized how satisfying it is to see that DC Vertigo logo in the top left corner.
Yeah.
It's a great logo, and like it makes me realize how much I missed it and how much it was so prevalent on so many incredible seminal comics.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this series is called Deniz Camp. The art is by Stepan Morian with colors by Matt Hollingsworth. And it's pretty bonkers. So Deniz Camp, right? I was so excited going into this because everything I've read from him has been an absolute banger. And I have not read 20th Century Men, which is the first thing he did.
Right.
Everything else has been phenomenal, but also very different from one another outside of a sort of unifying theme of being generally kind of high concept.
Yeah.
So this
is really cool. I thought it was awesome. It's a couple of zombie buddies who eat people. They have crazy names. Like this first guy's name he goes by Poke. What is his actual name though? He's got a really good Mouse Pokes golf ball out of head hole is his full name. And his buddy is Mush.
Mushrooms grow up all over like little forests.
Yeah. And they're limblings, which means that they at some point, like one of them took his arm off and gave it to the other one. So they have like a fat and a skinny arm.
Yeah, like being blood brothers.
Dude. Yeah.
But they swapped an arm.
They're limblings.
Which,
so weird.
This book is like The Walking Dead by way of grommets.
Yeah.
Gross heart sound. Nice sound effect. So there's this thing, they're zombies. It's cute and entertaining how casual and sort of comical the perspective of this whole story is from these zombies who are, kind of buddies. Like the dynamic of these zombies reminds me of the dynamic between the two main characters of Gromics, like kind of 80s skate punks. But our main guy's got a heart that starts beating, which, zombies, that they're attracted to going and eating other people's hearts. So that's the mystery that's been introduced. But yeah, there's just a bunch of like, little tweaks and nudges on classic zombie stuff like malls and shopping centers. And yeah, it's interesting.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. Yeah. And it didn't, like a third of the way through, I was like, huh. But by the end of it, I did dig it quite a bit. But it seems, quite a bit different than the other Deniz Camp books we've got.
Totally. Did you read it, Roman?
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Vertigo return?
Best Vertigo book in years, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love that Vertigo logo. You're right. It's funny that I didn't realize till we got to page 3 or 4 or whatever, where he says his whole name. I thought his name was Poke because I thought it would be a joke about the food because they're zombies. They eat poke, raw stuff. But it wasn't that joke. I was kind of disappointed by that. That's funny. Like you said, a lot of it I was like, huh, all right, well, I like that bit. I like the farting zombie bit. I don't know. I kind of ended up with, huh. I mean, I'll read the second one, but I'm not. It hasn't grabbed me yet.
It's kind of funny because they're humanizing very much zombies, because this whole
Yeah.
thing is casually told from the perspective of them. But like the way that they're like, oh, sweet suburbs, like we love suburbs, and we don't really even know why we do, but you know, there's just like this homogeneity to everything, but also nooks and crannies. So there's just always things you're gonna find. It's just like a well thought out, intelligent, not super serious or heady, like, you know, assessment of like zombies. But
Well,
you know, internally
that-
consistent.
That was my favorite bit when they get to the suburbs, and from that point on, I was a little more invested.
Yeah.
They also like this they're a little bit different. You know, sometimes we get smart zombies in media, but these ones are like entertaining each other, and they have like one of them is named Unhinges Jaw and Eats Crying Baby Whole. Like
Classic.
that's a crazy long name for a zombie, where you would expect that they would name each other things like blah and blah, you know. So just to have like this society that's that intricate, I think is pretty cool. And the art is rad.
Yeah, and really unique and like
Yeah.
interesting. I would have a hard time kind of describing it or comparing it, but maybe there's like a touch of Eric Powell in there, like maybe a little bit of the Goon.
Yeah, definitely I could see that. It feels a little bit like you said, like grommets. Yeah, it's not very much like most other things. Like there's some Sam Keith proportions, but no Sam Keith like cross hatching or anything.
But there is a panel of a zombie, and this is the text. A few feet away, unhinges jaw and eats crying baby whole, was swallowing a few of the female's bones and farting out a flammable gas, much to the thrill and delight of all. And it's a zombie farting and lighting it on fire in front of a bunch of people. So like I saw that and I was like, Django. I know Django enjoyed this panel right here.
I actually enjoyed the next sequence even more, which was zombie with no body, just his legs, trying to communicate like through stomps and dances, and like that's hilarious.
Dennis Camp has proven throughout all of the things that he has a pretty good sense of humor. And it's like not the thing that he is putting on display the most, but even Ascreeve has like bits of very wry, intelligent humor to it in the same way that like Ice Cream Man does too. So I liked Bleeding Hearts quite a bit. Also, I'm excited that there's a new Dennis Camp book and I love him. So like I'm probably, you know, approaching this with more optimism than I would a book by a creator I'm less familiar with if it were the same issue.
Well, what do you how optimistic are you about it? How many beating hearts do you give it?
I'm gonna give it, oh, that's really a bummer, dude. I'm gonna give it 8.5.
8.5 for Jeff. I'm gonna give it a 9. I thought it was it doesn't deserve to be this good.
It doesn't, yeah.
Like this is a ridiculous premise, and it also feels like Vertigo. So bonus points for that.
Yeah, bonus points for being a Vertigo return.
Doggedy.
I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5 on the Roman scale. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Vertigo, believe it or not, is owned by a larger sort of comic publishing company called DC Comics.
Detective Comics.
They had the first issue of a new series come out this week that I was pretty disappointed that Roman didn't read, because it is written by Teenie Howard, but has the beautiful, and I'm going to say sexy Hout art of Babs Tarr throughout the entire thing. Interior art by Babs Tarr, which is not a thing that we get often. She could pretty easily make her living off of doing covers at this point. So getting a full issue by Babs Tarr is fantastic. It's a Black Label book. It is like 32 or 34 pages. So it's, you know, an issue and a half. And the art is phenomenal. Teenie Howard has written quite a few things at this point. And in general, it's not a name that I stick with on her books. But I think this is my favorite first issue that she's ever done. So I was pumped about this one. And, you know, I had like my reservations going in, but yeah, it's Catwoman, Black Canary, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. It's Black Label, so it's like out of continuity, and it takes place at a time where Black Canary is kind of new in the friendship circle with these three who, you know, are kind of known as criminals, but they don't all know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and Catwoman is dating Bruce. But, you know, like, so yeah, there's just, you know, it's a specific kind of moment in DC Batman time. But I'm rambling. Django, what did you think?
Didn't read it.
You didn't read it? Oh my God.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't even know that it came out.
Dang, holy crap. Let me just confidently make book 2 a book that I only read. Okay. Well, dude, you guys, this was really good. Roman, I think you would really like this. The voices for all the characters are fantastic. It is almost like that Harley Quinn animated show in terms of the voices for Harley and Poison Ivy just being really good. It's not quite as comical in this one, but you know, this is like a little bit more down to earth, but it's really great. The characterizations for all the girls are awesome. The social dynamics, but then Babs Tarr, like her art, we have her not safe for work stickers that we sell at our store because she likes to draw hout stuff and she's good at it. And she's been, you know, drawing now the coolest ladies in DC. You know, got Ollie Queen in here. Roman, I think you really should read this. I think you will like it a lot. I think any fan of one of those 4 primary Siren characters would be really excited about this. It's a better one of those lines that I've ever read, honestly. And then the art really steals it. So, yeah, cool. Roman, check it out. You're gonna dig it. You just got like a hyper-sexualized Harley Quinn in here who's like falling in love with every random person, and like Poison Ivy's just cool as hell, and you'll like it.
Cool. No, I'll give it a shot. Definitely. This after the podcast this coming week. I gotta admit, when I saw I'm not a big fan of Teenie Howard's writing, so I think that's what put me off. I was like, oh, she wrote everything. So
totally. Yeah. In general, I don't love her work, but this was really great. Cool. So I gave Sirens Love Hurts book number 1 a 9.0. You hear that? Sirens.
Wow. Yeah. Perfect.
Sirens.
Almost like we rigged that.
Oh, wow.
Almost like that.
That's really good, you guys. Okay, Django, what's something that you read that I didn't read? Please, for the love of God.
Oh, what's something that I read that you didn't read? The Thing on the Doorstep. I'm guessing you didn't read.
You mean Top Cow, a story told over 50 or 60 years showing the unhinged derangement and Lovecraftian influence of a man whose life we see deteriorate through the eyes of his best friend who names his son after him?
Yeah, you didn't read that, did you?
No.
Wow. It's pretty good.
It was really good.
It's pretty good.
It was really good.
Yeah. It blows me away that we got through this much of the first issue without anything really horrific. Like there's like an insane asylum at the end.
Yep. The beginning of the issue starts with a very, recent event, and then we jump way back. And are jumping kind of rapidly forward through time towards that very first moment. But I very much assumed that at the end of this issue, we probably would have seen that moment. Roman, did you read this?
This is one I didn't even see.
Dude, Roman, you are gonna love this one too, because it
looks like something I would love. Yeah. Didn't even see it.
He goes to Miskatonic University, Roman.
Oh, my alma mater.
That's Lovecraftian, right?
Yeah.
If I had one complaint, it was that I think the dialogue could use another pass.
Mm-hmm.
There was some stuff in here that is very modern, and I can't quite remember what it was, but it was just like really modern turn of phrase for these kids to say. And then there was a point where somebody said it was a moo point instead of a moot point.
Ooh, that's like a Friends reference. It's a cow's opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. I don't think Friends was out yet when this came in.
Doubt that.
But other than that, I think it was really well done. I think the pacing is probably designed to be kind of like Lovecraftian, right? Because he did not write page turners really.
You know, it's funny.
Mom's the word is what it was. Instead of
Oh,
mum's the word, she says mom's the word,
dumb.
and that bothered me.
Yeah, the art was fine. Like, I wouldn't criticize it really at all. It's, you know,
Yeah.
kind of Jason Burrows mixed with our guy, Broda Bones guy.
Yeah.
A little
Oh,
bit, so
yeah.
like way more light than his normal
Alex
stuff. But
McCormick.
yeah. But it's got that thing going where it looks like it's kind of like scanned art that's just not in a great resolution. Like, it looks like kind of poor digital sometimes.
That didn't jump out to me. I actually really liked it. I think other than being a little bit inconsistent, I
Yeah.
liked the art. Like I could always tell who was who.
Yeah, I liked the art. It just felt like a poor printing, or sometimes when they scale things in a weird way.
Yeah.
That like
Yeah.
it just looks kind of like
detail changes, level changes from page to page.
Yeah, but no, I agree. I think the characters, like, some of their faces were janky, but they all had very strong, unique appearances.
Yeah. I think this is a really good book. I would give it an 8.5 if I hadn't found typos and things way out of genre. So I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to go 8.5 with it. And Roman, you read this book.
Okay.
You read this book.
Read it. I'll report back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'll dig it.
Yeah.
Taking a break from books, you guys.
Yeah.
Nate's got a question for us.
Yeah.
What do you guys rate the Skinbreaker series so far? I think that came out last week. I thought it was the last issue. And I was super stoked when I discovered it wasn't the last issue. So I guess that's a pretty good rating. I think there's one issue left.
That's a short book. I assumed it was going to be longer.
Yeah, I thought it was ongoing.
It's Finch's art.
I think Finch took 17 years to draw what he's drawn so far. So
that makes sense.
He drew it all double size, which is like 4 times the ink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he literally spent 8 years drawing it so far.
Bubba says it's 8 issues. That's crazy. Okay, well, I haven't read it since issue 2, so knowing that it's that short, I will get caught up.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, if you can get a full hit or Kirkman story in 8 issues, that's great.
Yeah. You digging it from?
Yeah, I think I'd give it an 8 so far.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful and engaging. It's like Avatar, but not kind of off-puttingly stupid. Sorry to all the Avatar fans.
On the topics of Kirkman, I'm having a hard time staying on Transformers since Daniel Warren Johnson left, which is a bummer because when he was behind the helm, it was like one of my favorite things.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what there is about it that feels different, but it does feel different. But I'm not giving up. But I've been surprised that's been difficult. Hey, Roman.
Hey,
Roman.
Yeah.
Quick question for you. Did you read Absolute Wonder Woman Annual #1? Because
absolutely.
Because it had some mythology things that made me think about your particular interests, but it also had this specific take on Medusa, which I thought was super interesting and unique.
Positively.
Positively.
Yep. I loved it. This is the whole thing, just Wonder Woman going to help out because she's Diana. She wants to help Medusa and lift the curse that was put on her that gives her, the snake head and turning people to stone. Just because she's so nice. No one else would help Medusa. And I forget where does Medusa live. She's not in Hades. She's wherever the Gorgons live. But she has to pray to Athena, and Athena shows up finally, and Athena looks amazing. This is the coolest.
The art, Matteo De Ulis on art, who has kind of a digital look to it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that double page spread of Athena with the enormous wingspan, and so cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just a great Diana story because she's so compassionate and she wants to help Medusa, and of course Medusa is doesn't believe Diana wants to actually help her. So they have a great battle, and yeah, like you said, there's all sorts of the mythology built in here with Athena and the curse on Medusa and her sisters, the other Gorgons. Oh, sorry, Carl, got lost myself there. What were you?
But it's no, yeah, that's fantastic. Like I thought that so throughout the beginning of the book, we're sort of following Diana, and she's like trying to talk to Athena, right, about Medusa. And I was like, did I forget something? Like, was there a recent part about the Wonder Woman story that dealt heavily with Medusa? And what we learned throughout the issue, spoilers, is just simply that when she beat the Tetracide early on in the series, she adopted the form of Medusa to beat it. And when she had taken that form, she was struck by the profound loneliness of an existence where no one ever can look at you because they'll turn to stone. So you never have that sensation of being known. And that was what was driving her to go do this whole thing, like to your point, Roman. Yeah, just like that's a fantastic bit of storytelling of just telling us something huge about the character in a much more interesting way than just telling us that about the character.
Yeah, that was such a good end because I'd forgotten that she took on Medusa's form
Totally.
during that battle, and it's so impressive.
Yeah,
I had kind of a hard time at the end. I had to read the sequence a couple of times to figure out if Wonder Woman got to keep her lasso, because she sort of frames it as a trade, and then it's just a trade to use the lasso, and I think she keeps it, but on the final panels we don't see her.
I think she
see it on her
traded
body.
her powers. So she temporarily lost all of her powers for that other power of being
Yeah.
immune to being stone. So I don't think it was, I think that was the trade. I don't think the trade was the lasso.
Well, but at
Because
some
she-
point she says, yeah, I don't know. There's a part where she says, I offer my lasso, sacrifice. Whatever
Is-
sacrifice holds may choose its shape, but your heart and mind must be clear and focused. So it just wasn't 100% clear that when she offered her lasso, she wasn't offering the lasso, she was offering the lasso's powers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the art didn't really back that up, because we see her holding the lasso later, but then she never puts it away, and it's not with her when she leaves.
That tracks. I could
I
totally
really
see that.
like the book, but that part threw me for a loop, and it might be a little bit petty, but it bugged me that I wasn't sure at the end if she
Gets to
had her
losing her awesome ass lasso. I know that makes sense. Just also on the note of the art, though, like some really great double page spreads, and Hayden Sherman has done such interesting stuff with paneling in any book that he's been on. It was interesting to see this artist follow that up with some other pretty interesting paneling things, like the diagonal shot of like a giant kind of crack on the earth that was radiating outwards and then divided into like panels in this sort of circle with a very interesting angle. Just pretty dang cool stuff.
And his art didn't follow it, like, until you guys started talking about it. I assumed that this was half him and half Hayden Sherman.
Yeah.
And they were like sharing panel duties or something, because a lot of these drawings look like Hayden Sherman, but then the paintings look like DeJulius.
So I had a thought about Hayden Sherman, okay? And I wanted to share it with you guys. It's not, there's no insight here or anything. I don't want to make it clear. I think, what?
No, go on.
I think he's the most exciting artist that we've come across in the last year. Like, you know, I think he's amazing. And he seems young, and I don't know his age. But it's like, wow, okay, crazy. Like he's like, you know, Bob Dylan making a deal with the devil at the crossroads to like get really great in a small amount of time or something. But I was thinking about it, and so many comic people come up, and through their art you can see that they like are students of the 9-panel grid, and people talk about that as like an important thing. And it's like you kind of need to learn the 9-panel grid, and then everything kind of comes from there. But once you do that, you know, there's like a foundational thing. And it's almost like Hayden Sherman is young and just didn't grow up being super adherent to the 9-panel grid, or didn't grow through that, and in doing so is doing like super advanced stuff that's not beholden to that. But I wonder if we'll see eventually like some shortcomings or some limitations for an artist that like maybe didn't grow through all of that like 9-panel grid stuff.
I'm not sure that he didn't, though, because he
Yeah.
drew Thumbs and he drew The Few, and
Yeah.
I don't think that those had the bonkers layouts. In fact, if they both feel to me like they were pretty standard square layouts. So
Dark Spaces was pretty progressive and new, unique. But yeah, I would
yeah, but
love
those
to
other
look at
two were
those.
like 5 years before that. Like, he's been doing this stuff for so long and just
Yeah.
changing so frequently.
Yeah,
I want to go back and look at those old ones and see if we can see any echoes of that stuff in his current art.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. But yeah, it just
I love
struck
that
me that
concept.
like there's more and more artists like might be coming up with people like J.H. Williams III and Hayden Sherman and like those Jeff Darrow, those artists as their influences. And in doing so, it's a type of storytelling and page layout that is intentionally, you know, not of the 9-panel grid, although you know, of it. But anyway, it's the thought I've been thinking about Hayden Sherman. Like, yeah, wonder his influences.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get to know that guy better. What do we give Absolute Wonder Woman annual #1?
9 for me.
9 for me.
Yep, 9 for me.
999. That's an inverted 666. If you guys know what I mean.
Ooh, I do.
It's,
Damn Satan.
number
Hey,
nine.
Django.
Holy nines. Yeah, buddy.
Did
Number
you follow your
Man.
Django style and read Just Brutal #1?
Just Brutal #1. I did read Just Brutal #1, Jeffrey.
Roman, did you read Just Brutal #1 from Ignition Press?
I just did not.
Oh, this guy.
What's
almost surely still read a stack of comics this huge, but it's crazy to have this many books that he didn't read.
What is the Django style here that you're talking about, Jeffrey?
Just
Brutal?
No, just
Brutal.
kind of sticking to reading the first issue of all the series that are coming out from a new upstart publisher.
I do read a lot of #1s.
You read a lot of #1, but you'll be like, I'm getting the full first year of Aftershock, or I'm reading all these ones.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
right. You're right. I like publishers.
I get it.
Yeah, I did read this. Dennis Hopeless and Brom Revel. It follows a kid who's like a film nerd kid, and he's living with his mom and her new boyfriend, who's kind of a dork. And the kid is filming movies in his house, and like surprising the dorky stepdad by getting movie murdered in front of him. I think it's really good. It's silly. It feels a little bit like a Kyle Starks book to me, just in the sense of humor has echoes of that. Like, the kid always calls his stepdad by his stepdad's first and last.
Yeah. And
it's
like
really
the kids'
funny.
friends do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. And the, like, that's a gag, but you can tell that the writer has their act together, because also it confuses and sort of makes the stepdad sad. Like it's really a nice dynamic. And then what we learn at the end is that the absent father and the dude's sister, the main character's sister, have been in Iowa fighting monsters, and they're like superheroes, and that's why he doesn't return calls and show up to baseball games and stuff.
So I had a strange relationship with this book, but I think all of it's on me.
Okay.
But like, I didn't know anything about it. Grabbed it. I was like, it's the first book from Ignition. I haven't read every single thing they've done, but I wanted to read this one. And I'm just sort of going into it. And it's like kind of hard to follow. And it's kind of hard to follow because our main character is like filming movies and has maybe also got like a pretty active imagination. So like we're like in a movie and then not in a movie, like quickly. So you're like, what is reality is shifting.
And he's sometimes narrating directly to us, it seems like.
And sometimes like he's just talking to somebody, but the whole time they're talking, they're battling with ninja swords and bullets while they're doing it. So like you're trying to figure out a base level of what is reality. And then like just about halfway through the issue, the dad gets home and like full on a giant truck bus lizard, like Jeff Darrow would draw, like bust through the house, and they're like fighting it and killing it. And then you get through the rest of the issue and they kind of like deal with having fought this monster. And you're like, okay, wait, what was real and what was not real? And that was confusing. And I don't know if it was well done. And then I remembered that Ignition Press is bragging that the backs of all of their issues have like the back of a movie on it. So like I flipped it over, and sure enough, if I had read that back of a comic before starting this thing, I would have had an entirely different relationship with this comic.
Interesting.
Like it's like, yeah, you know, mom and dad are superheroes and are no, or you know, like retired superheroes, and they're not anymore, and now they're all like stuck together, and are they going to kill each other? Like,
so it's the trade paperback summary for the first issue, basically, like
exactly.
a TV guide set up for the series.
Yeah, and they kind of made it a marketing point for all of their series for that to be a part of the back of them. I don't know if it's just the first issue or if it's all issues.
That's interesting because I was super confused for about 4 pages, and then something clicked, and I understood like the narrative weirdness that they were doing here.
Yeah,
and it didn't really throw me off, and I don't know if maybe that's because I think I probably carry on a lot longer in books that pull this kind of stuff than you do. Like this is interesting and uncommon, but not unheard of.
No, like I thought I got it. I was like getting it with the jumping around, like the movie and like the samurai talking to a friend. Like I thought that was all normal, and then till like the crazy things showed up, and then I was like, wait, what is this real? But I think that's intentional. Like I kind of think that's you know, yeah, I think it was good. But it was a very unique experience of reading it and feeling like I was understanding what was going on.
Yeah, I do read most of the Ignition #1s. I don't always go into issue 2, but this I'm interested. I want to read the next couple of issues.
Heck yeah. I want to hear Roman talk about something that made him happy.
I give this one an 8.
Oh yeah, you got to score that.
I'm going to give it an 8.0 as well, Django. Good call.
Nice.
What made me happy, Jeff?
I want to hear about a comic that did.
Oh! I thought you had something
but
particular in mind.
I do have a comic that I read on my list that, if I had to guess, I think made you very happy.
I bet it is. Yeah, it's Action Comics number 1095.
It sure as heck is, Roman. That screamed Roman. I put that down, and I was like, "Oh, Roman."
It's one of those comics that I'm just like, man. Mark Waid is so wonderful. I mean, just classic Silver Age stuff. Pete Ross, Clark Kent's best friend from Smallville. Long ago, that's in the 50s, I don't know, discovered that Superboy, Clark Kent, is Superboy when they were on a camping trip because he happened to wake up during and see outside the tent during a lightning flash that Clark turning into Superboy and taking off. But that's been the most that anybody's ever done with it until Mark Waid gives us a story, first part of a story where Pete is so realistically like trying to figure out and feeling crappy and depressed and angry that his best friend has a huge secret that he wouldn't trust him with. And, you know, they're teenagers. I look at the spiral Pete goes into because he's like, how come my best friend doesn't trust me? What do I do with this? Do I confront him? What do I do? And it's just such a great angsty teen angst issue. Loved it.
Yeah. Good resolution. Good kind of pathology throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. And Clark's, acts like Clark would, and Pete acts like Pete does. And just, it was just such a great idea. It's one of those comics that like, wow, why has no one ever addressed this before?
Yeah, Django, that's a good way of putting it. The pathology is really good. Like, it's just really logical human feelings and
Yeah.
getting from one state of understanding to another. And the way that Lana, has a conversation with him and they draw a parallel. And then ultimately, Pete gets to have a conversation around Superman that like causes him to see multiple reasons why maybe he hasn't been told. But yeah, it was just a great full circle. Also, like, Roman loves Smallville era, those people being buddies doing that stuff.
Yep.
We are so lucky that Mark Waid is writing this book and it's covering this period of time. But also, how about this artist, right?
Yeah.
I forget their name.
Patricio Del Pesce.
Yeah, but goodness gracious, you could have told me that was Chris Somney and I would have believed it.
Yeah. There's a lot of Somney in here, but different too.
Yeah.
There's enough difference. Yeah,
just mixed enough with like that kind of Superman Cartoon Network era show from the 90s. Touch of that in there.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really like about this Mark Waid run is that, like, it wouldn't have surprised me if we had stretched that storyline out for 7 issues.
Totally. Thank goodness we
just
did.
Have him sad in the background for 7 issues. And I think just kind of, I mean, each one of these issues has kind of been one and done, right? Like, we've had a couple of B plots, but they haven't really paid off. They've just kind of been in the background.
Yeah, last issue definitely was as well.
Yeah. Each one of them has been like, there was the one of him at the World's Fair and the one with the army guys. And like this is kind of what I thought we had been promised with the Batman series that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
I really like the Batman series, but this is what I was expecting from that. Just like, here's a cool thing. Now you can go read something else and come back to this whenever you want.
It's just such smart publishing on their part to like be having absolute Superman and then also this, which is like Silver Age Superman.
Absolutely, Silver Superman.
Yeah, you should be able to have both of those things. So what are our scores for it, Roman?
This is my 10 for the week.
Oh, it's salty. And there's salt in my eye now, Roman. Wow.
Even that cover. Look at that cover. That's an awesome cover.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Except for the salt in my eye.
I didn't realize that was an S at first with the pins and threads until at first. Yeah, okay. Look at that thing. Disgusting.
That's a gooey duck.
Well, yeah, you have to censor it because it's Facebook.
I give it 7.5. I thought it was really good and kind of lightweight, I guess, would be my only knock on it.
I'm gonna go 9.5.
Nice. I'm a dick.
Roman, Django's a dick.
You're the Luther of the trio.
It's Luthor.
Luthor.
That sounds like something he would say, right?
This the Luthor.
Mr. Luthor.
Yes. So, what else you guys want to talk about? I can't talk about more books that just I read.
I would love to talk about a book that I read.
Yes.
And it is a bigger book.
I saw you working on
Nobody.
This.
Yeah, this is The Nobody by Jeff Lemire. I think this is an older book that he wrote. I think this is a reprinting or a republishing of it.
Yeah, if it was new, I feel like I would have ordered more.
This was originally published in 2009. I'm just an unabashed fan of Jeff Lemire. This is black and white and blue, and it's just basically telling the story of, like, spoiler alert, because even though you can guess it from page 1, you're not really sure for quite a while, but it's telling the story of the Invisible Man after he leaves his science situation in the big city. And he goes to this little tiny town in Canada with snow all around, and there's a kid. She walks through the snow sometimes, and you can see her footprints. It's very Jeff Lemire. But like, the Invisible Man has this shady past, and he's, it's just a cool follow-up to that story, and him just making bad decisions, and this small town trying to deal with the fact that they had all this stuff happen. I really enjoyed it. I don't think that it's Jeff Lemire's worst work, but even if it was, it's worth reading because he doesn't really do small town Canadian snow kid walking in the snow drama without hitting the nail exactly on the head. And hopefully it's the nail that you want him to hit. But he does exactly what he wants with it. So
That sounds like a really interesting story pitch.
Yeah.
it's good. I would give it an 8.5.
Yeah, heck yeah. Invisible Man after he's done, stalking that lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Is he still a jerk like in the original movie?
Well, he's not a jerk. He's alone. He's hiding out in a hotel and he's trying to find a cure for the invisibility. And part of the conceit is, and I think this is from the original story, the invisibility serum also makes you insane and violent. But he's gotten through the insane and violent part because he's taking some meds to keep himself stable, but he's looking for a full reversal. So,
Wow.
yeah, he's not the crazy person that he was when he first turned invisible. And I only really know that because I just finished reading the Invisible Man series from James Tynion and
well-timed publishers.
Yeah, that was also good. I don't know if you guys have noticed, and I don't know if this is like some trademark expiration or something, but all the Universal monsters are having a heyday in multiple types of media right now. We've got Dracula. Dracula's out. The Bride is out. There was maybe there was even another Dracula or another Frankenstein recently. They're just like spamming us with these characters. So I don't know if it's in the air or if it's in the courts, but I'm digging it.
I just have to mention that I read Wade Wilson Deadpool #1, and I have to mention it because Django, you didn't read this?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, at the beginning, we're on this farm where like drug production's getting made, and you got some rednecks, and they're like, very Breaking Bad, like farm out there, and there's this big cow, and it's in pain, and this guy gets shot in the back of the head. Cut to an image of Deadpool escaping out of the ass of a cow. Look at the cow's head there.
All right.
And
I was going to be offended.
Look at this next shot of him falling out of the cow's butt with all this fluid coming out.
Yeah, that's real Ace Ventura right there.
It's very Ace Ventura.
I like it.
But I'm a big Ben Percy fan, and I don't generally get super excited about a new Deadpool series. There has been arcs of runs that I have enjoyed, but it's been a minute since I've enjoyed one. And this first issue I thought was actually really great. It was a really good setup for a first issue, and the humor is right there.
Who's drawing it?
This is art by the one and only Jeff Shaw, who did the Thanos Lives arc with Donny Cates. And
shares the sounds of a name with you.
Shaw.
Shaw.
So I'm going to give Wade Wilson Deadpool #1 an 8.5, a surprising 8.5.
Nice. That's a high score for a Deadpool book from you, I would think.
Yeah. And now I'm thinking, like, we've been here for an hour and I need to start packing to leave at the butt crack of dawn with Django tomorrow.
Yeah. It's early morning coming.
Early morning.
Did we want to discuss that one last book before we go, or just there was a big one that came out.
Yeah, there was a big one that was really good.
Are we talking about the same one?
I think so.
DCKO.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I thought it was really good, but the ending was a little bit confusing, and I haven't clarified myself on exactly what happens because, and we'll talk about the spoilers, but a big thing happens. The tournament's over. We have a winner, but then we jump to a previous event that happened before the tournament began, and it's Dark Side and the absolute characters and some I don't remember it at all. I don't know if I made sense about what was going on when I read it the first time.
So that's a bummer because when I read it, I couldn't stop thinking, oh, this is the part that Jeff's going to explain to me.
Okay. That's a huge bummer.
It felt a lot like Final Crisis bureaucracy. pages that I didn't really care about, and you were able to kind of pick apart
Yeah.
to me.
The problem of me being so excited to read this book that I read it a while ago.
Yeah. The cool thing though is that we get another issue of this.
Yep.
And there's this chance that Time Trapper is going to be the savior for all of this. Because he's like this glimpse of hope is Time Trapper, which I think is kind of awesome to have the ultimate baddie in Superman's world also be the one who can save the world.
Yeah, Roman, I know that you've had a turbulent relationship with this Time Trapper, this Trapper Keeper character. But at the very least, I want to concede that I think it's pretty awesome that that character was introduced in the main Superman book like a year ago.
Yeah.
And was used and then kind of used in the background, but all building to this. And, that's some like good old fashioned 80s, 90s long form comic book storytelling right there.
Mm-hmm.
So big ups there. I really like the issue. I gave it a 9.0.
Okay. I just remembered what this is. It's Saturn Girl talking to Darkseid, right? Evil Saturn Girl. Kind of like pushing back against Darkseid a little bit and getting an explanation, I think, for why we can have the absolute characters fight to the death and be all craggy and Darkseid-y and also have their own series, because holy shit, don't cancel the absolute series, you guys.
Yeah. No. Marvel's doing it with the Ultimate line. We think there's some big reasons to do it.
No, they just like plucked them from a moment in time, and I think it's like a branching time thing.
Okay.
You gave it a 9?
Yeah.
I think I could get behind that. I really liked the way that the person won and how like the two characters at the end are like, yeah, heck yeah, we just won. And then Superman realizes that Darkseid isn't doing anything because he's waiting for just one winner, because that's the rule, right?
Yeah.
And I like that little pause there.
Yeah. And then of course, Dickhead's gonna do it.
Yeah. Romy, what do you do here? Oh yeah.
What do you do here?
Well, I like that this. I don't know. I'm trying to pick my words because I don't want to necessarily spoil it.
You can.
But this end is okay. Big ass spoiler that this ending that Darkseid created the whole absolute Earth, created the absolute characters, but I think it's really intriguing that they're already a little out of his control, and so he takes them from their own future because he says, "Tell Saturn Girl do not engage with their present." So it's like, wow. So he's not. Darkseid isn't as powerful maybe as he thinks he is, and we've been led to believe, because why can't he have them completely control in their present?
And if that's the case, maybe that's why Time Trapper is an important link in this, right? Because he can grab them from now when they're at their strongest.
Yeah, that's going to be a gratifying, kind of fun, long thing to read, the Time Trapper, the Trapper Keeper thing from all those series and different things.
Yeah, I think I gave it I'll give it a 9. This series is always better than I expect it to be.
Yeah, and it was going to be 4 issues originally, and now it's 5, which is awesome, because to add an extra issue in here like that, and have it still be good and not feel like it was unnecessary, it's not always easy to pull off.
Do you think they do that on purpose? Because I feel like the last 5 or 6 big DC events have started at one number and added an issue or two by the end.
I don't give them that amount of credit for planning ahead. I wish I had taken a bunch of next week's comics to take away with us.
I have to do a deposit. I'll grab some if you have room in your luggage for a store full.
I do have room for a Storefolio. So take a look. There's some good lunar stuff specifically.
Yeah, I'll grab some books for us.
Ow! Way to go, buddy. Well, everybody, we hope that you had a happy Valentine's Day and enjoyed your time with us and with your loved ones and falling in love with comic books and, above all, yourself. So Django and I are going to fly to the big Golden Apple City next week or tomorrow morning. So we're gonna be gone. There won't be an episode next week, but maybe Jan and I'll record some extra special 420 stuff while we're away. Maybe I'll get people high and then record them with my voice and have them talk about Comics Pro.
I think if you really miss our voices, Jeff's and mine, I believe that there's going to be an episode of Data Bros pushed out this week. So if you missed our mellifluous friend Brian Garside chatting with us, keep an eye on that feed, and you'll be filled with the joy of DATA BROS.
That's exactly right. Gosh, I love leaving, but I hate leaving because comics are so cool. Gosh, it's gonna be good. We'll be back though. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. As always, don't forget to continue watching the skies. That's an important part of the whole thing. And there's a book called Smile for the Cameras. What's that?
I'm Jeff.
Oh my gosh, Jane, you also have to get the final issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. That's going to be in a Penguin book that'll have the title on the top.
Yes. I'll call you when I get to there.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, and Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon, too. What a week of comics next week. Great song. Great tune. Oh,
that creepy